Welcome, dear students. In the last two videos, we initiated the supply of labor, income ledger trade-off, where we discussed the two main concepts. When there is an increase in a real wage, we discuss this concept of substitution effect and income effect, and how substitution effect and income effect can affect the supply of labor. We differentiated both of them, and then we initiated the concept of factor shift aggregate supply curve. Now we are moving towards the labor market equilibrium, as we discuss in substitution effect and income effect how uh, the real wage can affect in form of substitution effect and income effect. Now we are discussing some other element which can affect the supply or demand of the labor in the market. So we have one example from the US and European labor market. Unemployment rate were similar in US and Europe in 70s and 80s, but later on are higher in the Europe since then. Let us see in the graph, we can easily differentiate. In Europe, we have four countries: Spain, France, Italy, and Germany. And comparing with the US, European countries have higher unemployment rate after 1980, and whereas the United States has a stable, or maybe you can say decreasing somehow. So comparing these, there are three main reasons for higher unemployment rate in Europe. Uh, First one is generous unemployment insurance system. Second, high tax rates, and the last one is government policies that interfere with the mark, labor market. When we are discussing about the European countries more generous unemployment insurance, we have some point here: replacement rate, fraction of the loss wages that a worker receive higher in Europe than US. European worker get unemployment benefit for longer, so have incentive to remain unemployed. The more turbulence economy of 80s and 90s lead European job loser to take advantage of unemployment insurance. Ireland and Netherlands reformed their unemployment insurance system, and unemployment rate fell significantly. So you can easily differentiate that because of these reasons that European countries have higher unemployment rates as compared to US. So this next is the higher income tax rate in Europe also reduce the incentive to work. As we discussed in the first 10 principle of economics, that people like incentives. So there is a disincentive or incentive, sorry, disincentive, that higher income uh, tax reduce the Europe also reduce the income incentive to work. The government interference in labor market in Europe affect the labor for for demand for labor and sometimes supply for labor. So so mainly what we discussed, that um, the generous insurance policies, high income tax, and government interference are the main reasons why European labor market has higher unemployment rate as compared to US one. So this is the basic simple labor market equilibrium graph, where we can find that there is a negative relationship between the demand and real wage, whereas there is a positive relationship between the labor supply and real wage. When we are discussing about the labor market equilibrium in the classical model labor market, real wage adjusts quickly, determines full employment level of employment and market clearing real wage. Problem with classical model can't study unemployment. Reason क्या है इसकी? Full employment output in the production function, you can easily differentiate कि y and n is the constant effect by the changes in the full employment level. Our production function supply shock है, ठीक है? Two variables are only k capital is changing, other variables are constant. The effect of temporary adverse supply shock ऑन द लेबर मार्केट, देखिए द प्रेजेंट इक्विलिब्रियम इज ऑन ए, जहां पर टेम्परेरी एडवर्स सप्लाई शॉक जो है वो इफेक्ट कर रहा है इसको। सो फ्रॉम ब्लैक पिंक की तरफ डाउनवर्ड जो है ना मूवमेंट हो रही है। सो फ्रॉम N1 टू W1 से क्या है, N1 से N2 एंड W1 से W2 की तरफ जो है ना मूवमेंट नीचे, आपका जो डिमांड कर्व है वो डाउनवर्ड्स क्या है, शिफ्ट हुआ है। ठीक है, ड्यू टू डाउनवर्ड शिफ्टिंग अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट फॉल्स, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट जो है वो कम हुई है, N1 से N2 की तरफ बैकवर्ड मूवमेंट किया है। इसी तरह रियल वेज भी जो है वो भी फॉल की है। ठीक है, जो है ना डाउनवर्ड जो है ना नीचे की तरफ क्या है मूव की। तो दोनों से जो है हमें एक बात का अंदाजा हुआ कि टेम्परेरी एडवर्स शॉक की वजह से क्या है, इक्विलिब्रियम जो है वो डाउनवर्ड क्या है, शिफ्ट हुआ है, और जिसकी वजह से रियल वेज के अंदर और नंबर ऑफ लेबर सप्लाई दोनों के अंदर जो है वो क्या है, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट के अंदर जो है ना वो डिक्रीज आया है। सो एप्लीकेशन आउटपुट, एम्प्लॉयमेंट एंड द रियल वेज ड्यूरिंग द ऑयल प्राइस शॉक। ठीक है, ये अगर देख लीजिए कि रिलेटिव प्राइस ऑफ एनर्जी, ओपेक का जो है वो ऑयल एम्बार्गो है, जिसकी वजह से जो है ना ईरानियन रिवोल्यूशन, देन 90s के 80s के करीब जो है ना रिलेटिव प्राइस एनर्जी है, इराकी इन्वेजन कुवैत है, द डिमांड सर्ज एंड सप्लाई कंस्ट्रेंट 2003 से 2008। सो द रिलेटिव प्राइस ऑफ एनर्जी जो है उसको आप देख लें विद ईयर। सो आउटपुट, देखें आउटपुट, देखें आउटपुट एम्प्लॉयमेंट एंड द रियल वेज ड्यूरिंग द ऑयल प्राइस, adverse supply shock lowers the labor demand, unemployment, the real wage, and the full employment level of output. First two cases, US economy entered recession and result 10% decrease in the price of oil, reduce GDP 0.4% points. ठीक है, so this all that जो अब तक हमने चीजें डिस्कस की हैं, thank you all of you.